The final group, we went chalk.
Oh my God.
It's the teams that were in the final four. But
Oh my
hey,
God.
it's a power poll. It's the favorites. The Lions 4th, so that should make you feel better, Cynthia, that they're not higher.
That's right.
Lions 4th, Ravens 3rd, 49ers 2nd, Chiefs 1st. So basically how the last season would have ended. That's fine. It's a power poll, and there's really not huge reasons to go against any of these teams. The 49ers maybe in the short term, but in the long term, it's kind of hard to argue with who they've been. I'm finding, at least for this exercise, not a lot of juice here, not a lot of disagreement. We all had the Chiefs first. None of us had the 49ers anywhere lower than 3rd. And the others were pretty consistent, too. We were basically in agreement on these teams. If there was a team here, I'm going to just go hard because I'd be surprised if any of these teams didn't make the playoffs. But if you had to choose one of these 4 teams that did not make the playoffs, I actually think I would choose the 49ers.
We're lock solid.
Same.
We talked about all the weird stuff that's going on in Santa Clara right now.
And the division and the schedule.
I mean, think about it. First game's against the Jets. That's like a hard first one if things aren't put back together. And like once that if it's hard to get things back together if you don't get the chemistry going. And I don't know. I also just trust quarterbacks more, and I think the quarterbacks on those other teams are just significantly more trustable.
I find it interesting how good the Chiefs look on paper when the last couple of years on paper going into the year, there was actually more concerns about them.
Yep.
And, they won the Super Bowl both of those years. This year, it feels like there's less, and I don't know. There's not really many things to pick apart with them. Maybe the cornerback.
Yeah, we do kind of hand wave away L'Jarius Sneed in his departure a little bit, but it's hard to overlook.
To me, it's more human nature. I got into it with Pete Sweeney and Arrowhead Pride that to me, it's more just like human nature. And even that might not be, or just like the luck of the draw that hey, you just might not get through this single elimination tournament unscathed again just because it's hard to do.
That's kind of the way. I feel like when I close my eyes and think of the difference between the AFC and the NFC, it's like the NFC, those teams should make the playoffs, and they're probably kind of going to fall the way we see them after week 4. But in the AFC, we see you mix, and it's like a single elimination tournament, could roll the dice either way. That's where it gets more difficult.
But they also are, the most likely team to have the 1 seed just because the schedule is not that tough and the division's not.
But even so, I still think that 2 games they would have to play really tough people. It's not like it doesn't. Like the AFC to me, like, do you want to play CJ Stroud? Do you want to play the Bengals? Do you want to play the Ravens? Do you want, the answer is kind of no. For all of that.
So we're not exactly putting all of our predictions out here. We will have an AFC, NFC preview. We'll also have a game day view season preview where we get into the numbers of it all and try to pick who's making the Super Bowl there too. And
I have a request.
Yes.
Can your kids pick their Super Bowl favorites too? They need to be in the mix just for that.
I'll ask.
Yeah.
I will ask. I mean,
I feel like in a few years we'll get yours too. There's
Ellis will pick the Rams.
Yeah.
She's not really into the other 31 teams.
Who cares?
And I think Walker will pick the Texans, which would be fun.
But I think Walker is he's really on it.
He's on it now. He's on.
You would be careful. He might be coming for your job. Walker might be coming for your job.
Bring it.
Greg's cool with that.
It's hard. This is a daily show. We need. Yeah.
Well, if it's going to be every day forever,
there we go.
Walker better be training for this.